Good morning everyone. Today I will be discussing very important topic, that is excess demand and deficient demand. Let's see. In the previous chapter I have already discussed the equilibrium level of income, output and employment, where AD is equal to AS. And this equilibrium may be at full employment, underemployment or overemployment. So we have already discussed all these three equilibriums. If equilibrium is at full employment, then there is no problem in the economy. But if equilibrium is at underemployment or over full employment, there may be situation of excess demand or deficient demand. So let's discuss in detail. First is excess demand. So excess demand arises when AD is more than AS. So let's see the proper definition of excess demand. It refers to the situation when aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply, corresponding to full employment level of output in the economy. So as you can see in the diagram, this is the equilibrium level of output at full employment, but aggregate demand is at this point, that is MQ. So AD is more than aggregate supply. So aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply. It gives rise to an inflationary gap. Now what is inflationary gap? It refers to the gap between actual aggregate demand exceeds required aggregate demand to establish full employment equilibrium. So we can explain this with the help of diagram also. Let's see. OX represents income, output and employment. OY represents aggregate demand. We know the shape of aggregate supply. It makes 45-degree angle. AD, here we have two AD. This is a required AD. Required means desired AD, which is at full employment. So this is the equilibrium point where we have full employment in the economy. So this EF is a full employment equilibrium and OQ is a full employment level of output. Clear? So, but we have AD1, new AD, that is the actual AD. So, AD1 is shows that there is increase in aggregate demand due to increase in investment expenditure. And if we have AD1, so it intersects AS at point EO. This is the over full employment equilibrium. So, because of increase in AD, it donates the situation of excess demand, and the gap between these two is known as inflationary gap. So this is the required demand. We want this much demand, but the actual demand is MQ. So gap between these two, that is MEF, that is inflationary gap or excess demand. Already I have discussed that if we are at over full employment equilibrium, there is a problem of inflationary pressure and it leads to rise in general price level only. Okay. So why? Because all the resources are utilized properly. We are already at full employment. So output cannot be increased in reality. So what will happen? Any increase in AD, it leads to increase in only general price level. Clear? Now what are the reasons? What are the reasons behind excess demand? Why there is excess demand in the economy? So the reasons are, first is increase in propensity to consume, second increase in government expenditure, increase in investment, increase in exports, decrease in imports, decrease in taxes. Now there is no need to learn all these points. How you can learn all these points? We know the formula of AD, and the formula of AD in open economy is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. Clear? We have already discussed this formula in AD chapter. So C means consumption. So AD will increase when all these components will increase automatically. So we have all these points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So out of 6, 5 points we can learn from the formula. So there is increase in consumption, increase in investment, increase in government expenditure. X means increase in export, and M because here M is negative, so obviously there is decrease in import. So in this way you can learn all the points. There is no need to learn. Okay. So last is decrease in taxes. Let's discuss. Obviously aggregate demand will increase if there is increase in consumption. Increase in government expenditure, rise in government demand for goods and services due to increase in the public expenditure will also result in excess demand. Increase in investment. So excess demand can also arise when due to decrease rate of interest or increase in expected returns. We know the factors of investment. So next is increase in exports. So exports will increase because the domestic goods, the price of domestic goods are low as compared to the imported goods. So that's why there is increase in demand. Okay, more demand of our goods, domestic goods. Next is decrease in imports. Imports will decrease maybe because of higher international prices as compared to domestic price. So there is fall in the imports and it will leads to increase in aggregate demand. So decrease in taxes. Decrease in taxes means government imposes less taxes. It means people have more disposable income. They can spend more on consumption. So it will leads to more aggregate demand. Okay. Now the effects. So what are the effects? There are three effects: effect on output, effect on employment, effect on general price level. Under excess demand, because excess demand is not a desired situation, because already we have utilized all the resources, full employment level is achieved, so output cannot be increased. So effect on output, no change in output. Effect on employment, no increase, no change in employment, because already we have attained full employment level in the economy. Effect on general price level, yes, because already we have achieved full employment level and all the resources are utilized properly, so actual output cannot be increased. So any increase in aggregate demand will leads to increase in general price level. Okay, so it gives birth to the another problem, that is inflation in the economy. More the gap between actual and required AD, more the inflation will be there. Clear? So next is deficient demand. Deficient demand means when demand is less than supply. So definition is, it refers to the situation when aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply corresponding to full employment level of the output in the economy. So it gives rise to an deflationary gap. So now what is deflationary gap? It refers to the gap by which actual aggregate demand falls short of required aggregate demand to establish full employment equilibrium. It means actual demand is less than the required demand. So whenever you will write the deflationary gap, you will compare actual and required AD. And whenever we will give the meaning of deficient demand, we will compare AD with AS. So be careful while writing. These two definitions are very important. And let's see, we can explain it with the help of diagram. So in diagram, x-axis represents income output employment, y-axis represents AD. So AS is aggregate supply curve, makes 45-degree angle, and AD is required. This is required AD at full employment. So this is the equilibrium where AD cuts AS. At this point, this is equilibrium level at full employment. Okay, OQ is equilibrium level of output at full employment. Now, actual AD, because there is decrease in the investment expenditure, so AD falls from AD to AD1. So this situation donates deficient demand and it gives the birth to the another problem, that is deflationary gap. So deflationary gap, let's see. So the gap between this, because AD1 intersect AS at this point, that is EU. EU means equilibrium at underemployment. So underemployment equilibrium point is this, which is below full employment equilibrium. So the gap between these two, actual AD and required AD, so this gap is known as deflationary gap. So you will write here EFM is deflationary gap, which arise due to the decrease in demand. Okay, so actual aggregate demand is less than the required aggregate demand. So it leads to fall in general price level, means deflation. Why? Because all the resources are not fully utilized in the economy. So we are not at full employment equilibrium. So let's see the reasons. What are the reasons of this deficient demand? Again, we have 6 points. So no need to learn all these points. Again, we know the formula of AD, that is C plus I plus G plus X minus M. So if there is decrease in all these components, automatically aggregate demand will decrease. There is deficient demand. So first reason is a decrease in consumption expenditure due to the fall in the propensity to consume. It leads to deficient demand in the economy. Second, decrease in the government expenditure, when government reduce its demand for the goods and services. So due to the fall in public expenditure, it leads to deficient demand. Third, decrease in investment expenditure. So decrease in investment expenditure may be due to increase in the rate of interest or fall in the expected returns. Clear? For next is exports may fall due to the comparatively higher price of the domestic goods as compared to the foreign goods, imported goods. So it leads to the deficient demand. Next, increase in imports. So imports may increase because of less prices, international prices. Domestic goods are imported goods. Clear? So it again leads to deficient demand. Next is increase in taxes. So due to increase in taxes, people have less disposable income, so they cannot spend more on the goods and services. So that's why there is decrease in the demand. So there is deficient demand. So these are the reasons of deficient demand. Now impact. Let's see what will be the impact on output, employment and general price level. So first is impact on output. So output will decrease because the aggregate demand, actual aggregate demand decreases. Okay, so there is decrease in output. Second, in effect on employment. Employment will also decrease because output is decreased. So due to decrease in output, employment level will also decrease, and it cause involuntary unemployment in the economy. Effect on general price level. So price level, there is fall in the general price level, there is deflation in the country. So more the gap between the actual and required, more the deflation will be there. Clear? So all these points are there in excess and deficient demand. All points are important. Learn properly. And next question is the difference between deficient and excess demand. We can differentiate these two. One, on the basis of meaning. First we will write the meaning that excess. So second is inflationary or deflationary gap. Excess demand leads to inflationary gap and deficient demand leads to deflationary gap. Third is equilibrium level. So in excess demand, equilibrium will be at over full employment. Clear? And in excess demand, it indicates over full employment equilibrium in the economy, and deficient demand, it indicates under employment equilibrium in the economy. So reasons. So what are the reasons? Excess demand. The reasons are increase in consumption, increase in expansion, increase in government expenditure, increase in exports, and decrease in imports. And what are the reasons behind deficient demand? Decrease in consumption, decrease in investment, decrease in government expenditure, decrease in exports, and increase in imports. So you can write any reasons. Impact of output and employment. So in excess demand, there is no effect on output and employment. It remains same. There is no change. But in deficient demand, it leads to fall in output as well as employment due to the shortage of aggregate demand. Producer will produce less goods. Last is impact on prices. So prices, excess demand, it leads to inflation. It means there is increase in the general price level. And second, deficient demand. In deficient demand, it leads to deflation. It means there is fall in general price level. Clear? So we have done with the deficient demand and excess demand. Thank you.